So how do you pre-handle objections? Now, the most common misconception in the entire industry is that pre-handling objections is when at the end of the call, you get no objections. It sounds obvious, but like Andres, isn't that the definition? Like it sounds really obvious. And it's not, because at the end of the day, you have to think about it. Any person, it does not matter how good your questions are. When you take them to 20 minutes or 30 minutes of a call, and now you're asking somebody who's working a 9-to-5 job, who's never invested anything in their entire lives for $20,000, they're gonna have fear, whether you like it or not. And so they're gonna give you an objection. But the key to pre-handling objections is, again, not to remove the objection, it's to handle all the logistics of every objection. That way at the end of the call, any objection they give you at the end is bullshit. They know it, you know it, because then it's extremely easy to handle. You do one frame, 10 seconds, and it's gone. And I say this as somebody who last month, the same month that I turned 18, made $220,000 profit in income. And that was right after running the largest B2C sales training company in the world alongside my business partner Yash that was doing $40 million a year. And so I'd like to think I know a thing or two about objection handling. And so then the question naturally becomes, well, okay, Andres, how do we remove the logistics of every objection? And the key to this is understanding that any objection you get at the end of a call, which comes from logistics, meaning it's not founded in fear or bullshit, means that you messed up a part of the sales process. So here at the Impact team, we use the Impact formula, which has 4 stages: intent, logical certainty, emotional certainty, and the pitch. Which means if you get a logistical objection at the end, whether it's partner, money, whatever it might be, time, that means there is a specific stage, one of these 4 stages that you messed up that caused you to get that hard objection that you couldn't overcome. And so then the key is you have to start to understand, well, what is the most common objection I get? Because once you know that, then you can also figure out, well, what is the stage that I'm messing up that's causing that, and then make the changes that you have to make to your script, your tonality, whatever it might be, to actually fix that issue. So in this video, I'm gonna break down the most common objections and which part of the process you're messing up that's causing those, and also show you how to fix it, that way you stop getting it. So let's begin with number 1, the wife objection. The thing to understand about any partner objection you get, I need to speak to my wife, business partner, whatever it might be, is that it actually has nothing to do with the partner themselves. It has everything to do with responsibility. Whenever somebody gives a partner objection, essentially what they're saying is, I have this problem, I wanna take this burden I have, this responsibility, and I wanna put it onto somebody else. And so then our goal, if we wanna pre-handle them better, is in the process, we have to get them to admit their own responsibility. Now the way we do that in the Impact formula is after emotional certainty, the last part of emotional certainty is the consequence. Meaning you've uncovered all the problems, you future-based them and everything else, and then you go, okay man, well what happens if we continue on the same trajectory with the same skill set that caused X, Y, and Z problem for the next 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, even 2 years, man? Like what would happen then? And they're like, oh, well, X, Y, Z would happen. I would stay fat. I wouldn't be able to play sports with my kids, whatever it might be. And then we go into the first part of the pitch. And this is where we're gonna pre-handle the partner objection. We do what's called a commitment questions. So after they tell us the consequences and everything else, we go, okay, man, are you willing to settle for that? And they're like, well, no, I'm not willing to settle for that. Okay, man, but like, why now? Because like, obviously there's always the new year, new me guy, like start out on a Monday. Why actually draw that line in the sand and like make that change now, like if you haven't for the past 6 months? And I say that because I care. Oh, well, because you know, man, like I realize like I'm getting this weight and eventually I'm gonna cross the threshold where it's gonna be too much work to be able to undo it. And so I just wanna get this done now. Again, like whose responsibility do you really feel it is? To like draw that line in the sand so you actually get those results and like lose the 50 pounds so you can play sports with your kids again. Oh, well, it's my responsibility. So what have we just done? We've gotten them to commit. I need to change the problem. We've gotten them to commit. I need to change it now, and it's my responsibility to change it. So now it's extremely difficult for them to go, oh, well, it's my responsibility to change it. Oh, but my wife, I gotta speak to her. Like, it's very, very difficult for them to do that because now they've already agreed it is their responsibility. And so then the key, again, is you might still get the wife objection at the end, but since they've already agreed it's their responsibility, they will know it's bullshit, and so it'll be a lot easier to overcome. You can use a heavy as the head that wears a crown reframe, for example, and it'll be easy like that because they already believe it. Now, there's 2 super common mistakes with this. Number 1, during the process, a lot of people will ask like, okay, and like, are we on a secret mission here, or does your wife know that you're trying to like lose this weight? That's gay. That does not sound like any normal human being. When have you ever been in a conversation and been like, you know what? I think you're a spy. I think we're on a mission here. Who's ever said that ever in any situation? Nobody. So as soon as you say it, now you sound scripted. They're not going to believe in you, and now you've broken rapport completely. So that's the number 1 mistake I see. The number 2 mistake is even if you ask, well, whose responsibility is it? And they say mine, sometimes they'll be like, oh, well, I mean, I guess it's mine. Or like, yeah, I guess mine. And whenever they sound that level of uncertainty, we have to double down to get them to buy in. It's like, well, you sound confident, man. And they'll be like, oh, no, it's just that X, Y, Z. And they'll start justifying it. They might be like, oh, well, I mean, like she's my wife, so obviously she cares about my fitness, which now that's perfect because we go like, well, why does she care about your fitness? Oh, because she wants to see me be in better shape, etc. Amazing. So now we've gotten them to agree their wife wants that result as well, and it's their responsibility. Double whammy, we've got both of them. So now you're good. So that's prehandling the wife objection. Now, number 2, we have the I need to think about it objection, right? The biggest thing to understand with I need to think about it is it's essentially them delaying a decision-making process. And this can be because of 2 reasons. And actually, most people only talk about one. And I'll talk about the second one in a second. But the most common one is people say, oh, well, it's a smoke screen, you gotta get the real objection. And yes, that is true a majority of the time, say 70%, for example, right? Now, the easiest way to prehandle that, the smoke screen part, and again, I'll go over the other part in a second, the easiest way to prehandle that is just by building more urgency. So if you can build a bigger gap between where they are now and where they're going to continue to be with all their problems, et cetera, over the next 6 months, a year, et cetera, versus if they fix the problem where they would be, and you're able to build that gap and make it seem as big as possible, that's what creates the urgency of, oh, I need to act now because I don't want to wait these 6 months and then be in this shitty position that we just broke down. So that comes down to the emotional certainty stage, because in there, again, the 3 steps to the emotional certainty stage is number 1, we do identity shifting. Number 2, we do the future pace. And number 3, we do the consequence. So it's the difference between the future pace and the consequence, this drastic drop between, oh, I'm going to be here, I could achieve this, I could do that, all the way down to now a consequence, oh, well, I'd be screwed, I wouldn't be able to support my family, I wouldn't be able to do that. That massive drop is what creates the urgency of, okay, I need to do something now. So again, that's the first part. The second part of the I need to think about an objection is sometimes it is genuinely how they make decisions. So you cannot handle it like a smoke screen because it's not in that situation. You have to change their identity. So again, that goes back to the first part of emotional certainty. Remember this frame, and you can use it on almost any sales call. I use it every single time. I'll go like, okay, man, well, can I make a suggestion? Just randomly in the middle of the call. And they'll be like, yeah, of course. I'm like, because I'm a big believer in like, there's a big difference between wanting something versus actually doing what it takes, even when it's hard, even when it's uncomfortable, to actually achieve what you want. I'll give you an example. For you, like 6 months down the line, what do you want to be making in terms of like monthly income? Let's pretend it's a biz op or business coaching, whatever it is, right? Oh, well, I want to be making $50K a month. Okay, and how far are you from that now? Oh, I'm at $20K a month. Okay, so you're $30K away. Yeah, because the mindset and the skill set that got you here to the $20K a month, it got you here, but it won't get you there. Or it already would have. So are you actually committed to like changing that old way of thinking and stepping into the new one to actually get to that $50K a month? No one's gonna be like, well, yeah, of course. And you just double down. Well, why though? Like, I agree with you, but like, why actually make that change? Oh, because of X and Y and Z. Like, I know I need to change my skill if I want to change my results. Then you consequence. Yeah, because what do you think would happen if we just decide, no, I'm going to keep the old way of thinking, the old mindset, the old skill set that got me here, but won't get me there? Oh, I'd stay in the same position. I wouldn't grow the business, wouldn't be able to support XYZ person, my employees, whatever. And then we just get the commitment to change. So are you actually open to me holding you accountable then? To like changing that old mindset, the old skill set, and like stepping into the new one so you can get to the $50K a month? No one's gonna go like, well, yeah, of course. So what have we done right here? We've gotten them to admit their old way of thinking, their old skill set got them here, but it won't get them there. And they've openly admitted, you can hold me accountable to making that change. Because the key is, what is that old way of thinking? Well, it might end up being that I need to think about it. I always take time before I make decisions. And so if we've already gotten them to agree that way of thinking won't get them to where they want to go, well, now it's extremely easy for us to hold them accountable to making that change. So if you do both of those steps, that'll prehandle the I need to think about objection. Now, the next very, very common one is people just saying like, oh, just tell me the price. Early on in the pitch, cold call, outbound call, whatever it might be. Now, to prehandle this, we got to understand what's causing it, number one. And what causes it is you have an A-type personality who feels like they've been on the phone with you for 10 minutes, hasn't gotten any value, they feel like they're wasting their time, and so now they just want to get to the point because they feel like they've wasted their time. They don't want to waste any more time. Well, what's the price? And yeah, you could try to handle it right there, and absolutely there's many, many ways that you could handle it, but you're already playing a losing battle. You're already going up a hill now, because they've already given you the resistance, now you're having to handle it. So the best way to pre-handle it here is gonna be in the intent stage. Because if the reason they're giving you the objection in the first place is because they feel like they're there just to hear a presentation or just to hear a pitch, then obviously they're gonna be resistant, because who likes being sold? Nobody. But if we can get them to understand you're on this call to fix a problem, and we know what that problem is, that's by default gonna make them more open, because now they have something to actually be on the call for that they want to contribute to. So here's the formula we use in the intent stage to get that. Right after we establish the call, where it's like, yeah, it looks like you scheduled some time at like possible help with kind of like fixing your marketing so you could grow the business, get a higher ROI. Is that about right? Well, yeah, that's right. Hey man, so I guess like out of curiosity, like what in specific, I guess, do you feel like you need possible help with then in order to actually like grow the business, get more leads, all that jazz? Oh, well, I don't know, man. I feel like I need a better funnel. Well, what have you seen that I guess makes you feel like your funnel in particular is kind of like what's preventing you from being able to scale? Oh, well, the conversion rates on the landing page aren't great. Great, now we've gotten leverage in the call, like 45 seconds in, we've already gotten a problem, and so now their intent on the call isn't gonna be there to hear us pitch. It's that they're on the call now to fix a problem. And so they're not gonna give us that same kind of resistance, because now it's us and them versus a common problem instead of them versus us pitching, them defending themselves, because that's never going to be productive. Another example, if I'm selling fitness, then at the beginning of the call, I'm going to start it with like, yeah, it looks like you scheduled some time in about like possible with kind of like getting into better shape, losing some weight. Is that about right? Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, cool, man. So out of curiosity, like what in specific, I guess, do you feel like you need possible help with then in order to actually like lose the weight, get in better shape, all that jazz? Oh man, well, I need a better diet plan. Well, what have you seen that I guess makes you feel like you don't have a better diet plan? Oh, right now I feel like I'm eating too many calories, so I can't lose weight. Again, now we have the leverage in the intent stage, and so they feel like they're there to fix a problem rather than there to get pitched, where the resistance to guard naturally goes up. So those are nuggets on how to prehandle those 3 objections, what part of the process you gotta work on. Now, I'm gonna cover one last thing. This might be the most important part for you, especially if you've already been in sales for a little bit and now you're just trying to become great, get to the 100K monthly commissions, 50K, whatever it might be for you. And this is where identity framing becomes extremely important. Sigmund Freud, a famous psychologist, has a saying that the strongest power in the human consciousness is to act in accordance with who we believe we are. For example, if I take somebody who believes they're the most honest person in the world, they never lie, they never cheat, they would never hurt anybody, are they gonna go rob somebody tomorrow on the street and shoot them with a gun? No, obviously not. If I take somebody though at the same time who believes they are a criminal, they are dishonest, they hurt people, are they gonna help a grandma walk across the crosswalk path tomorrow? No, obviously not, because again, that's not who they believe they are. Now, the really interesting thing in human psychology about identity is it's constantly shifting based on the environment around us. That's why people say the 5 people you're around is the person you become. It's because slowly over time, they influence you. For example, if I say I like this certain kind of music, and everybody, anytime I mention it, is like, oh, that music is terrible, that sucks. Then over time, we're gonna be like, well, shit, I'm not gonna really bring up that music. And so naturally, we're gonna stop liking the music as much because we can't listen to it in front of them. And then eventually, we're gonna start shifting into whatever they listen to. The exact same works on a sales call, and that's the beauty of it. So here's how you do it. We have to reinforce good parts of their identity, and we have to destroy bad parts of their identity. So first, I'm gonna speak about how to destroy bad parts of the identity because obviously you guys love destruction for some fucking reason. So I'll speak about that first, and then we'll talk about reinforcing. So here's an example. If somebody comes to me with a limiting belief, or let's say I'm asking a consequence question and they don't want to open up. They're like, hey dude, like that's not going to happen. Like I'm going to find a way to make this work. This consequence will never happen. Then I can do what's called a 2-person frame and go, well, can I make a suggestion, man? They're like, yeah. It's like, if I take 2 people and one of them is like, you know what? If I fail, I fail. Like there's not really going to be a consequence. Like I'll be fine, whatever. Or you have a second guy who goes, no. If I fail, it's not just me that it's affecting. It's my family, it's the people around me, it's my employees, because I'm not able to deliver to them the value that they need, and I'm not able to grow the business, which even hurts my customers even. So I absolutely cannot let that happen. Out of those 2 people, who do you think is actually going to be more driven and more motivated to succeed, and succeed more because of it? And they're always going to be like, oh, well, obviously the second person. Well, why then? Oh, because they're more driven, like they have more reasons to succeed. So why are you being the first then? Because like again, man, like understand one thing, like, I'm here to help you, but I can't want to help you more than you want to be helped. So all I want to do is uncover like what's actually going to keep driving you and motivating you, because those are the clients we want to work with anyways. So again, man, my question to you is, and then I can just repeat the exact same consequence question. So what have we done now? We've shifted that part of their identity that believes, oh, me speaking about my consequence, me talking about that is vulnerable, it's weak, to, oh, me speaking about my consequences and what happens if I fail is a good thing and it makes me stronger because then I have more motivation and more drive to succeed. So now we have shifted that part of their identity into what we want it to be. We've destroyed the old part. And the beauty is you can do that with any limiting belief, any limiting mindset that they have. You can just do a 2-person analogy. You can create both people and change the wording or whatever to match whatever you want them to believe next, which makes it very easy to influence people. So that's number 1. That's destroying bad identities. Number 2, it's reinforcing good identities. Here's how you do it. Number 1, you have to understand what identity do I want them to have to make them more likely to buy. For example, I might want people to be bold. That's a good one. I might want people to be courageous, however you spell that. Oh, I think I spelled that right, actually. That's a good one. I might want them to think that they are intelligent. That's a good one, because if they think they're intelligent, that's going to give them more certainty in themselves, which makes them feel like, oh, I can actually make a right decision if I feel good about this. So those are just 3, but you're going to be able to come up more for your offer specifically. Now, you have to look for situations where you can reinforce these. For example, if somebody mentions like, oh yeah, like I hopped on a call with this company or whatever, but like they didn't really seem trustworthy, they refused to show me any reviews or anything like that, I could be like, oh yeah, you're smart for that. Like a lot of people that are just take people's word for it and then they get scammed out of tens of thousands of dollars. What did I just reinforce? They are intelligent. You are smart for that. Another example, if I'm on a sales call and they start telling me about like oh yeah, I quit my 9-to-5 job like a year ago to start this business and then it went really well, etc. I can be like, kudos to you, man. Because like a lot of people, they're not that bold and then they end up just sticking with their career they don't even enjoy and make nothing of themselves. So genuinely kudos to you because it shows you actually have some courage. So what have I just done? I've reinforced you are courageous and I've thrown rocks at people who aren't courageous. Yeah, those people. They don't take risks. They suffer the consequences because of it. Because again, people are gonna make decisions based on who they believe they are. And so if I can get them on a sales call to genuinely believe, I am intelligent, I am courageous, I am bold, all these three things and whatever other identities you want them to believe, that's gonna make them a lot more likely to actually make a decision at the end of the call, which in turn obviously helps you pre-handle a lot of those objections and the logistics, the fear of them. So with that being said, I hope this was helpful. I'm on a mission to make real sales education accessible to everybody. That's why I co-founded the Impact Team, a mission that we've gone to what now? I think 25,000 members in like 5 months, something crazy like that. If you want to join, I have all my scripts in there. I have modules breaking down every section of every script, the psychology behind it. I have free coaching calls in there. I have live sales call recordings, so you can see how to actually follow and do all these things on actual calls, and even offers and influencers you can start selling for as soon as tomorrow, regardless of your experience. You can start making commissions and live the life you want to fucking live. It is completely free. Again, that is our goal, to make sales education accessible. So if you join below, I will see you on the other side. But besides that, have a blessed day.